All right, Shalom. I'd like to start out by saying Ka Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harikah Kodash Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and my elder One as well. Salutations to the archon that are pushing this truth to sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, I'm Khanak Sha'an Yasharla from the Lions Den of Yasharla camp, and this is going to be another Lions Den news and prophecy. Um, Lord willing is edifying for the hopeful elect, the ones who truly believe in the name of Yahweh by Shem Shai. All right, so before I get into the article, I want to talk about something. How you have semi-minor things going on in the world, and they use that as the upper elites use that as a distraction to keep everybody folk not paying attention to the major things that are going on in the world, like prophecy. All right, and that's what our mind's supposed to be on is prophecy right now. All right, having the same mindset of Yahweh Shai. All right, this is Sirach chapter 39 verse 1. It says, "But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecy." Right. So what they're trying to have people focus on is global warming. Uh, Things going on with Donald Trump is one of the major key things that they're using as a distraction mechanism. Um, to keep people's mind off of what's really going on. Like this article right here, it says that Russia makes nuclear ultimatum to the United States. You know, and nobody's talking about things like this is going on in the world. Uh, North Korea has been making the same threats towards the United States. Um, China and North Korea are doing joint military drills together, preparing what it seems like to be to preparing for the invasion of Ukraine, not Ukraine, but Taiwan, as well what Russia did with Ukraine. You know, so our minds are supposed to be occupied on things, be in the spirit of Yahweh Shai. This is um, let me get Revelations chapter 19, verse 10, it says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not." There was an angel standing in front of uh, John the Revelator on the Isle of Patmos. "I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy." And that's what we're coming by, giving our testimony. We're giving the testimony of Yahweh Shai as instructed by his father, our father, Yahweh. So with all these things about to be dissolved, what manner of persons are we ought to be in all holy conversations? And you're supposed to be in the spirit of prophecy. That's how you know you're in the spirit of Yahweh by Shemiel Shai. All right. So this article says Russia makes nuclear ultimatum to the United States, and a Russian official has explained the circumstances in which Moscow would withdraw the tactical nuclear weapons it had deployed in Belarus. All right, because there was a few months ago there were talks of tactical nukes being used in this war against Ukraine. It said in an interview with the state news agency RIA, Novosti Alexei Polasuk from the Russian Foreign Ministry repeated Kremlin rhetoric that the weapons had been sent to the Belarusian territory in response to the actions of the West. Right. This whole war is response to the actions of the West, mainly talking about NATO and the United States. Right. It says the specter of nuclear weapons has hung over Vladimir Putin's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, although the United States has said there is no immediate indication that the Kremlin plans to use such arms. They've said they're going to use it. If especially if America continues and other nations continue to intervene with what's going on. It says the Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko, a, a Putin ally, boasted in June about how territory is in his country has hosting weapons that would be housed in a storage facility built by Moscow, which has said it would retain control of the missiles. Right, but Polishchuk told the Russian state news agency that the deployment of the weapons was in response to the long-term destabilizing nuclear policy of NATO and Washington and the fundamental changes that they have recently taken place in key areas of European security. All right, so this all it's about is NATO and the United States really has minimal amount to do with Ukraine. It says this force containment measured and designed to ensure the security of the Union state, which as you know, has a common defense space. He said the Union state is an economic and defense union between Minsk and Moscow. He said that the hypothetical withdrawal of Russian tactical nuclear weapons from Belarus would only be possible if the United States and NATO abandon their destructive course of purposefully undermining the security of Russia and Belarus. All right. So this is jabs going back and forth between United States and NATO against Russia. It said this implies the complete withdrawal of all U.S. nuclear weapons to U.S. territories and the elimination of the corresponding infrastructure in Europe. Added Polishchuk, Director of Foreign Ministry, Department of CIS countries. A United States Department spokesperson told Newsweek it was continuing to monitor the Russia-Belarus arrangement to ensure Moscow maintains control of its weapons in the event of any deployment of Belarus and uphold its obligations under the Treaty of Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons. We will be paying close attention to any deviation. We have not seen any reason to adjust our own nuclear posture or any indication Russia is preparing to use a nuclear weapon, the statement said. Russia's rhetoric about nuclear weapons is reckless and irresponsible. It underscores Putin's hypocrisy and Russia's posture of strategic intimidation, it said. And who's the king of so-called strategic intimidation? That's America, the United States, and NATO. But the problem is nobody's falling for their intimidation tactics anymore, and they're responding with forceful tactics of their own, which would be not an action but a reaction to all the intimidation tactics that America has used over the course of the years. Meddling in other nations' affairs, taking down regimes and setting up their own regimes to get everyone to go according to what their agenda is. It says Russia's rhetoric about nuclear weapons is reckless and irresponsible, and it underscores Putin's hypocrisy and Russia's posture of strategic intimidation. It said, for Belarus, this is yet another example of Lukashenko making irresponsible and provocative choices to cede ever more control over Belarus to the Kremlin. It says, against the will of the Belarusian people. Putin has said that the transfer of nuclear weapons to Belarus would be completed by the end of summer. Lukashenko told reporters in June his top officials had tasked him with determining the algorithm for applying the weapons. However, experts have cast doubt on Lukashenko's being able to use the nuclear weapons because it would be highly unlikely that he or his military would have access to the permissive action links, which prevents their unauthorized detonation. Emma Claire Foley, associate partner for the policy and research with the Global Zero Movement, told Newsweek last month that Lukashenko's comments were part of the bluster to emphasize importance in the region. However, she said the transfer of missiles with a 300-mile range close to the Lithuanian and Polish borders is cause for regional concern and intensifies the regional situation regarding their nuclear weapons in Europe. So it's a bunch of flexing the muscles going back and forth. Like you know how you have two gunmen in a Western bar or something like that in the saloon. What is the first thing they do? They pull their coat. They pull their coat back to show their peace. To show that what they call it back then. To show that steel. You know, like I got it on me. So that's what these nations are doing back and forth. See, America's been flexing their muscles ever since World War II when they with the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because they're the ones that introduced nuclear weapons into the world. Nobody had seen this type of warfare until America did with bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki. But the Most High is gonna use that to denuclearize the whole earth, man. He's gonna make every single nuclear weapon that's been made be shot off. All right, I want to close it out with this. This is Malachi 4:1. It says, "For behold, the days coming, thou shalt burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble." So that's the end all tell all for these other nations, 2/3 of our nation. Right? Ultimately, this is America and Esau bringing forth these weapons, but it was put into their minds by Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. It says, and the day cometh that shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts. And that word host means army. That it shall leave neither root nor branch. Right, so it ain't going to be nothing left of this system. Ain't going to be nothing left of the people here in America. All right, the only ones that are going to make it out here are the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, verse 2, it says, "But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness fear the name of who? Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Yahweh being the Father's name, Yahushai being the Son's name. All right, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and shall go forth and grow up as the calves of the stalls," man. "And ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, saith the Lord of hosts." All right? And this is all going to be done by Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. So the one that's bringing the judgment is also going to bring deliverance within that. He said, in destroying, I will also deliver, man. So these are the things that we look forward to. This is why the men of the Lord's mind is always occupied on prophecy, because we're going to have the same mindset as Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. All right, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to serve His purpose. With that, I'd like to say, Ka Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Harikah Kodash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and my elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the argument that are pushing the truth to sincerity and truth. And peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Shalom.